Hi there, I'm Brooks from Character Design Forge. I'm going to start this video off with a quick disclaimer, which is don't copy other artists, which I know is contradictory to the title, but what I mean is copy other artists to your heart's content in the privacy of your own home, and we'll see why you would want to do that in a minute, but do not then post, share, distribute, or pretend like this is your work publicly afterwards, as that is called plagiarism. It is wrong, it's tacky, it's annoying, and it's obvious when you've done so. The reason that there's a giant stigma surrounding the act of copying is because people then go and share it and even pass it off as their own work. But what we are talking about is the act of finding an artist that you're inspired by, that you like the style of, that you like the technique of, their rendering even, attempting as hard as you can to mimic their style, even going so far as to trace it if you need to, and this is such a valuable process. Creative people do not exist in vacuums, and that's okay. In no way am I calling you or any creative person unoriginal, but the work that you put out is the direct result of what you take in and observe. And the thing is that you can't help that. However, what you can control is what you're inspired by intentionally deciding what things you'd like to be inspired by. If you've ever played the original Mega Man games back on the NES, you'll remember that your character Mega Man faces off against a boss, usually the 6 or 8 robot masters, and upon defeating them, Mega Man, who himself is a robot, will take that robot master's power. So in the instance of Cut Man, scissors on head plus man equals Cut Man, now Mega Man can throw scissors. Same thing for Guts Man, Elect Man, Wood Man, and Air Man. So this is a fun thing that I like to play out in my head when it comes to learning from other artists. I pretend that I'm absorbing their powers, like I'm stealing their essence, or their scissors. Please note that there's not actually any stealing going on because the artist isn't losing anything. You're just creating new skills for yourself based off of their work. So here's what you do. Select an artist or artists, but preferably focusing on one at a time. What you're doing here is you're getting a sense for the mechanics, the underlying way that something is made, and you'll start to see as a pattern throughout their different works what it is that makes them unique from other artists. Or like what happens to me sometimes, you'll see how similar an aspect of what they do is to something that you are already doing, just in a slightly different way. So what am I saying to do here? Take their work, study it, draw it, and even tracing it if you have to. Again, going back to that disclaimer, do not share this work. This is the embarrassing undergarments of your artistic wardrobe. Only you need to know that it's there. You don't want anyone else seeing this. This is an academic exercise. Next, after you've tried to recreate something of theirs, and you're feeling like you've got a handle on it, go back, start over, and create something new, but in the style of that artist you just studied. So you're going from imitating them to emulating them. Try and think and make the same decisions as this artist. Now at this point you've probably got a worry, a concern, and it's this. Is my own work now going to start looking like a ripoff of the artist who I just copied? Well, the answer is, especially if this is your first time doing this, or if you're a fairly new artist, it's going to look pretty similar, or be heavily influenced by that one artist. Usually, someone new to a field is going to have gone into that field because of one large inspiration, and because of that, their early work will look somewhat derivative of that one source of inspiration. This is similar to something that we call cartoons of cartoons, which we'll talk more about at another time. But after you've been drawing for a while with a larger map of influences, it's like the act of rowing. You're extending your arms out, grabbing and pulling back in. You're reaching out and seizing that artist's power. You're going outside of your comfort zone and your own personal style and taking what you can and bringing it back to your skill set. What's going to happen when you start doing this? You're going to start developing your own style, your own techniques. It's going to be an amalgam of other artists and your influences, experiences, observations, and most importantly, it's going to be you. Pretty soon, newer artists are going to start copying your work, so look out. Hide your kids, hide your scissors. Something that's going to serve you best in doing this is having a student's mindset. And that involves saying, how can I learn and take in the most from this process, which usually means having a lot of humility. What I try to do in this process, even though I've been drawing a certain way for a long time, and there's a lot of muscle memory associated with it, usually that's something that's kind of hard to turn off, I will look at this artist's work and try to completely empty my mind of the way that I do something. Pretend that I'm going into it as a brand new artist. And this is a much more effective way of learning. I hope that this benefits you in your journey to being a better artist. I'd love to hear how this works out for you, and as always, I would like to hear about your struggles and questions. So leave a comment or send me a message. Every day this month, I'm putting out new videos and articles at characterdesignforge.com, so head over there to see more, and subscribing on YouTube will help you see when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and have fun creating.